We are calling this a code orange for the yarn community. I mean, whether or not they meant for this to be Halloween themed yarn, it is. You cannot tell me otherwise. Naming your colorways things like black light, luminous lime, blazing orange. What's the red one called actually? Radiant red, having it look like this. This is a Halloween code orange. Do we remember all the way back in Spring-O-Ween, Yarn Inspirations had this new lineup coming out with Bernat called Bernat Lattice, and it was the most buttery soft yarn ever. The only complaint that I had about it was there wasn't a lot of variety of color, so it was all pretty neutral colors, though we did get a black and white. That was very nice. And this very rich mossy color. I ended up stocking up on those two colors and making so many blankets, one of which I have right here. It has just been kind of pushed to the side. I don't know, I haven't worked on it for a while. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this. So side note, I started making the blanket that was on the pattern, which is very gorgeous. It's this beautiful waffle stitch, but then decided that no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I have been using this part to make this little chevron throw. Kind of mad that I did that now because I actually really like this. At the time, I thought this was too heavy and I wanted a lightweight spring summery blanket, but now we are rolling into fall and summer and I'm thinking this would have been nicer. But you know what? I need to pick a direction and we're sticking with this. It's gorgeous still in its own way, but yeah, if you want to do this one, it's right on the tag. But like this color, right? It's beautiful. Now, look at what they just launched. We get 12 new colors in this line. And they are all neon colors wrapped in black yarn. How many more blankets do you think I can make? Like, Yarn Inspirations, what's up? My blanket queue is so full right now. It's inevitable. I'm gonna make some more with this. All right, let me show you the black lights first. We have some kind of killer clown moment going on with this one, but like this is how every single color is. We get that gorgeous neon and it's just covered in the black yarn, which you can tell that they didn't change the formula. Well, hopefully anyways, because this is online only at this moment in time. At Joann Fabrics, it says that it's out of stock for pickup, which makes me hopeful that eventually it will be in stores. Because normally if it's going to be online only, it just says not available in stores. But every single store around me that I click on, it just says out of stock, not ready for pickup. But if you want to get in on some of these colors right away, you can get into the shipping at this moment in time. It's kind of a good idea because it is on sale right now. Originally, one skein is $11.99. It's on sale for $8.99. I mean, since you have to do shipping, you can't get the 20% off coupon for picking up in store. So I guess it depends if you want to wait or not. I'm gonna wait until I can see it in stores. Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm gonna give it a week. And if I don't see it in stores in a week, then I'm gonna start ordering. So it looks like it's all the same just for the fact that all these colors, so there's 22 colors in total now. So we have the previous colors that they had available, all very neutral color. The one thing I will say is we already had a charcoal, that's what they called it. So this black and white, and then over here now we have an actual black and white. They don't look a ton different to me, but I am sure not complaining because I will take all the black and white yarn possible. And who knows, maybe this white is a little more poppy than the other one is. I have a blanket that I worked that up. I think I put it away with like all my other Summerween stuff. Okay, so back to all the colors. Now we have Blaze Orange, which looks like burnt pumpkin. Can you just imagine a campfire type of blanket? Honestly, with the chevron pattern that I'm doing right now, that would be a perfect color. By the end of this, you're gonna be like, how many blankets are you making, Kayla? Because I can imagine something for every single one of them. The only one that I don't have, like, this just isn't my color palette. I love this, but I don't know that I'm gonna snag any of these. It's called Electric Blue, but Corpse Bride. That's kind of what it reminds me of. So if that's your theme for this year, you wanna keep your eyes out for this yarn. Next we have Fuchsia Fizz. You know I love my intense pinks. None of these muted type of colors. Like, I want it to look radioactive like this. Definitely screaming Monster High. Next up, Neon Greens, giving kind of a snake-like feel to it with all the greens. and a little aqua in there too. Radiant red, like these are my colors. Regardless of anything else that goes on, I'm gonna make a blanket out of this. Oh, you know what? I can just use the pattern that they have in there. So yeah, I can use the waffle stitch for this one. Keep going with the chevron pattern for this mossy color one. I'll have that ready for next spring-a-ween. And this one, I can have ready for the winter season. Okay, yeah, I love it. Black lights we already showed. Citrus twist, again with the intense pink, but there is a little bit of a lighter pink in this too, and the yellow kind of swirling all throughout it. I feel like I need to grab at least a couple of these just to kind of play around with them. I feel like there might be something that comes up in October, and I do want to like be able to have it. Really, this is just going to cover the yarn dungeon. Like this entire lineup, it's going to be all over the place. Next we have Fireball. Oh, okay, I was not expecting that. I was just thinking it was going to be red and orange, but we have a little red, orange, and purple action here. Next we have Luminous Lime, and this is, I mean, total slimy green moment right here. So you know I'm stocking up on this one. Blankets, pillow shams, maybe even a cardigan. Honestly, because, okay, it suggests to use a 5mm crochet hook. It is a very thin and lightweight type of yarn. So for the blanket that I'm making in the chevron stitch, it's very flowy, very drapey, definitely one that I can layer up with, which is why I think that it would be really good for wearables too. And just like the texture of it, assuming again that they don't change the formula, it is literally just the color. This stuff is incredible. Medium number 4 weight, you can throw it in the wash, throw it in the dryer. I have not thrown mine in the dryer. Yes, I have. Never mind. Scratch that. The black one, I did throw in the dryer quite a few times because that one was just like a square and I had it up here in my movie room. And yeah, the first time was an accident. And then after that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it's like totally the same softness. It doesn't get matted. I'm such a sensory ghoul too. It's like if it feels amazing, I want so many of these. What else? We have 7.8 ounces, 220 grams. There is 389 yards. And there is the picture for the pattern that I started and I'm now pulling apart. So imagine that in Radiant Red or Luminous Lime. I don't know which one now. Prime. Okay, this kind of looks like Halloween, like a trick-or-treat bag to me with the orange, yellow, and blue. It's just the feeling that I'm getting from this one. I think I'm just gonna have to take one of each to try them out. And then Teal Punch. I am not a huge teal person at all, but I love this. With that black that's just encasing the teal, it looks so freaking cool. Yeah, one of each. It's been decided. You scroll over, you see all the other colors. They have all of those in stock too. So do make sure you go through them because right now the Teal Punch you can't ship it out. I should have looked at the rest of that then too. Prime you can't ship out. So those two are the only ones that are not in stock in any of the stores or online even. I don't know if we're gonna get this whole lineup then. I really hope we do though, because this is just, yeah, I want to see all of them. Bernat Lattice peaks color through the cage. The soft polyester cage construction delivers a pleasant stitching experience. That is the understatement of the year. This stuff is so freaking buttery. Like they needed to talk it up a little bit more. I guess now it's gonna get some because with this new lineup, let's see what kind of projects you can create with it. With high stitch definition, Lattice allows stitchers of any level to be proud to show off projects. Okay, I've never read that entire description there. 54% polyester, 28% acrylic, and 18% nylon, which you can see from this pattern just in general. Like it has stretch to it. I'm never gonna shut up about this yarn. And if these colors look anything in person like they do online, we have a contender for my all-time favorite yarn of 2024. That's how much I love this yarn. Really hope that this is a direction that they're gonna start going with more of their lines, especially with Yarnspirations. We definitely see a lot of the neutral colors, but this year we've been starting to see like slowly little bits here and there of pops of neon. but we've only seen it with like neon and white or like neon and neutral colors. We haven't seen anything this dramatic. So I hope that maybe they heard from us that like, hey, this is what we want. We love the neutrals, don't get us wrong, but we would like this option as well. Again, I'm starting a new blanket. It just is what it is. I'm not gonna fight it anymore. I love making blankets. Worst comes to worst, I don't have room for this blanket, which we can find room in the yarn dungeon, but I can gift it. There we go. So another thing to do as we're waiting for this yarn to hit the stores is check out the Yarnspiration site to see some of their blankets that they have there. If you've ever been to their site, you already know they have so many patterns. You could spend an entire day on there just going through staring at crochet and knit patterns. You're never gonna get bored. There's always gonna be something fun that you can scroll through. On the side, when you get to their website, you'll see on the top there's our brands and then patterns. You can decide to go whatever direction. Normally, I go with the yarn and then it will pop up with patterns underneath that. So anytime someone has made a pattern with it throughout the Yarnspirations, they'll put it on there as like a suggestion. We've got some stuff. Blankets, per usual. So we have the Bernat Lattice crochet blanket. This one's pretty cool. Imagine that in the radiant red. Very much enjoy that one. And the little border on it is super cute too. Okay, so that's a contender. Do I do a C2C with it? I cannot believe I didn't think of that. So they have a nice simple repeat pattern there. When you click on the pattern, it'll have the instructions and then a tiny little graph that goes along with it as well. The tassels are a huge no for me. I'm just not a tassel person. I don't enjoy making them. I don't enjoy the way they like feel on the blanket for me. It's a texture thing. I don't really enjoy it. But the rest of the blanket, I would totally do. That wasn't the Bernat Lattice. Never mind. But I still like that one. But it's giving me ideas. Like maybe I work up my own C2C graph with it. Do like a black light pumpkin on it. And then maybe take one of the neutral colors and play around with that too, just kind of do a little contrasting. Or I just stick with this, the Bernat Lattice crochet blanket. Boom, done, you know, nice and quick and easy. I have been enjoying that lately. Two of my blankets that I've been working on have just been super, super easy and I've been going back and forth. I mean, this one is easy too. I am gonna leave it out now. I like want this one finished. And it doesn't take a long time. It's just, I had it in a tote here to travel with for a couple of weekends, then set it in my closet and kind of forgot about it. So we're rejuvenated, took a break, and ready to finish this up again. The other blanket that I did was just a granny square and it just kept going and going and going. So it's a huge square that I can throw on the back of my couch. It's also a nice little throw blanket. Really, this yarn, it just works with so many things. I'm excited to play around with it for wearables too. I'm thinking some haunted house sweaters would look amazing with this. Imagine running around a haunted house with the luminous lime sweater. Okay, that might be in my near future too. It's just gonna be running in my head all day now of all of these new patterns that I'm gonna create with this yarn. It really doesn't even matter what color. I love them all. I have like 4 blankets in mind. Just gonna be fixating on that all day. Let's get into our crochet along for the day though. We have 92 nights left to Halloween. Rows 17 and 18 we're working on, which is a nice, decent amount of the bottom part of the TV stand. I mean, especially since we've gotten into, what do we have? 2, 4, 5 different colors that we're working on for the C2C part now. Here's what it looks like from yesterday. I know we can't really tell what the picture is yet, but that tiny part there, that's the TV stand. So make sure we don't have it untangled. There we go. So this one here, also I need to cut that. We're totally done with this little slimy part down here. I'm totally done with that. So I'm gonna take that red part off and save it because I will definitely use it later in the pattern. All right, we're working on odd row, which means it's the right side of the picture. Just have to keep repeating those things to myself every once in a while, especially when I do crochet graphs in chunks like this. It's easy for me to forget where I was at, to forget the side of the graph. And there are sometimes, even when I repeat it to myself, there will be like a strand on the wrong side, which then totally confuses me. I'm like, okay, is this the back of the picture or the front of the picture? Because I have ends all over the place. I did not end up weaving this in last night, like I said I was going to. Maybe today. Now I'm to the point where I'm done with this red, and I need to pull all the way over 2 different tiles to this gray part. 2 tiles doesn't really matter to me, and I don't mind the way that it looks on the back. Let me just finish this here and show you. Start building it up. So I have that little strand there that I pulled all the way over, but I'm gonna work over top of it, so I hardly even notice it on the picture. And again, it's on the back of it, so it's just not that big a deal to me. But if that does bother you, you can always cut this one off and then start a new strand of that color. It's really only when we get to like having to jump 3 or 4 tiles at a time that I'm like, no, that doesn't work, because the strand is just so long, and having to work over top of it, you have to go over top of the square and then down the square, top down, then you can kind of see it being carried all the way out through that. But these 2, it doesn't bother me. So there, you can kind of see, like, that's what it's gonna look like. There's a little pull over of the yarn, not a terrible deal to me. Okay, moving on. 3 of the red. For our 100-night movie marathon, we have the movie Hatchet tonight, which is a total campy movie with so much gore in it. Like, it starts out with a bang and it keeps on going all the way through. Amongst the greatest slasher flicks of all time, has audience shredding tears of terror and laughter. Unrated director's cut. Oh, that's cool. Like I said, I thrifted most of these, so I just was very excited when I found the movie that I wanted, and I just like put them all up here. Haven't really gotten into it. Do we have anything special in here? We have a movie poster! What a great score. When a group of New Orleans tourists take a haunted swamp tour, they slam face first into the local legend of deformed madman Victor Crowley. Oh, and then this one has Spiral. One sees them before they're done. That's coming soon, but Hatchet came out in 2007. I'll have to look this one up. Now that we're a little ways into this crochet along, how are we feeling about it? I know we had a lot of ghoulies out there that this was the first time that they've ever done the C2C stitch and a graph on top of that. I'm still really loving it for the fact that we're only doing 2 rows at a time. Once we get past rows, I don't even know what it is, row 30, row 40, something like that, we'll only be doing 1 row every night. It's a project that I'm still very excited about to work on each night, because I know it's not like I've gotten behind and like, oh my gosh, I need to catch up. Like, I have so many rows that I need to do tonight. It also helps that we're doing it over 100 nights and it's not something like 30 or 13, things like that. We have more than enough time to finish up this blanket. And so even if you do get behind like a couple of days, hopefully it's gonna be like the rows are quick enough working for you that you can feel confident in getting caught up and still enjoy this crochet along. 2, 4, 5. Am I losing track? Yes. 2, 4, 5, and switch to the red. All right, last tile for today. So here again is the picture. Just a little bit. We're starting to kind of see the leg of the TV now. So that's it for today. Have a super spooky rest of your night, and I will see you ghouls tomorrow.